Hey, Kristen.
Hey, Pete. How are you?
Doing great. All right. Well, I'm glad we are back to doing our webinars. Last week or so was a pretty busy, exciting week for you, right?
Yes, pretty busy. Super busy right now, but I'm so glad to be back on our webinars and get things going.
Well, I guess well, congratulations is in order, obviously, first for um, being named president of the Women's Council, the newly formed chapter, right?
Thank
What's the
you.
official one? South
South Suburban. Yep. Women's Council of
Suburban.
Realtors, South Suburban Network. Thank you so much.
Great. Looking forward to working with you and all the other great women that are on your board. Looking for some good things there. So. Again, this is our joint webinar series. Hi, everyone. I'm Pete Ferrara with Homebridge Financial. We're excited to bring to you today's topic will be renovation lending and how to use it really in a tight market situation. And we'll get into all those details. So that's who I am, Kristen.
Hi, everyone.
Besides being the president here, president-elect, tell us what else you do, who you are.
Okay, great. So my name is Kristen Rusev, and I'm with Classic Realty. I am a licensed realtor in the state of Illinois and working on Indiana really soon.
Perfect. I'm glad you talked about Indiana because I'm licensed as well in Indiana, and hopefully some other states that you have some interest in, we can kind of take a peek at those because renovation lending, as you know, for us is nationwide, and anywhere we can help clients, we will certainly do that. I do have a presentation here. Let's bring that up, but I guess I'll start with a question to you. Have you? I know you've done some renovations personally, right, as an investor?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're familiar with what it takes, what it's all about, and
absolutely.
So you certainly well informed, and you can guide clients through that contractor piece, which I think is sort of the scariest piece for clients. So with your guidance, they should have no fear because Kristen
absolutely. And I think that you're totally correct. I think that is what discourages so many different potential investors is going to be obviously the funding as well as having the team to actually get the rehab done. So
perfect. And I guess you and I talked about, do you have you have connections with general contractors, right?
Oh yeah. Yep.
Perfect. All right, great. I love it. Well, let's bring up the presentation here and we'll get to some good stuff. Do you see that on the screen, Kristen?
I do.
Perfect. All right. So it's no surprise in the last year or so, or a couple of years now, and I think the general consensus is at least a year or another year and a half, we're going to see levels of inventory continue to be low, right?
Yeah.
And like you said, have no fear. Renovation is here, and Kristen is here, and so between the two of us, we can pretty much help the clients with this difficult time. And what I guess this, before we get started, brings up a question. I guess I always ask, and not being a real estate agent by education, or I've never been a realtor, but I do know a little bit about what the customer is potentially looking for. Would you agree that someone sort of knows where they want to move to and why they want to move in that area? Would you agree that happens?
Yeah, I would say so. The only time that usually doesn't happen is if someone is relocating. They may not know exactly where they want to move, but 9 times out of 10, people know where they want based on school district, neighborhood, access to expressways, and so yeah.
Perfect, and that's exactly the point. And what frustrates me sometimes out there is that someone really wants to get in this geographic area and they can't find that home that they really feel is the home they want to move into. and obviously limited inventory, but a lot of times they'll walk in, unless it's brand new construction. You've taken out clients and they'll walk into a home and say, gosh, I love this is the school district. I love access to shopping near here, expressways, but that kitchen really stinks, and
Absolutely.
that bathroom, I can't do it. I mean, do you find that that's what happens?
Absolutely. Yeah, especially Pete in this market. So with inventory being pretty low, most people, they find a home, but sometimes they're not happy with everything that's inside the home. So I see
Perfect.
it more than ever now.
Well, we're here to tell them we can we can solve their problems and move to where you want to move, and we'll get them the home that their dream home. So we just talked about this, right? We need to sell the vision. A buyer can walk into a home and imagine what it can be. Don't worry about what it is right now. That kitchen doesn't have to remain as it is. That bathroom, flooring. We'll get into all the specifics of what we can do, but let's at least get them, comfortable with the idea, and then we'll work backwards from there and create that home of their dreams. Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect. So I do the nice thing about these slides we have here, we do have some actual pictures of projects that us at Homebridge and Homebridge in general. I didn't do all of these projects, but there are a couple of these that were actually my clients.
Okay.
Which is for me very rewarding, and we certainly can do anything the client can dream. We can do for them. So this one was simply, they needed some exterior work, and it looks like they also dormered up on this. Looks like it was a 1-story, so looks like they needed more room and changed the entire exterior appearance. Okay, so that is all something we can do in a renovation loan. Okay.
Awesome.
So the one thing that I don't know if you and I talked about it in the past, but one of you had mentioned that the buyers are afraid of the program because they don't know enough about it, and contractor being one piece. But on our end, I think there's a lot of misinformation out there that maybe some agents or other loan officers tell clients that, well, you don't want to do a renovation loan because it's very difficult to qualify. And I'm here to tell you that that's complete nonsense, and it's false. And the reason some people might mention that is because maybe they just don't specialize in renovation loan. They don't do it. They don't offer it. And they're just trying to tell the client that you don't want to go that route because it's way more difficult to qualify. The good news is I'm here to tell you that the same way you qualify for a conventional or FHA loan is the same for a renovation loan. We're just qualifying you for total dollars. And the renovation financing just simply combines the purchase price plus the cost of improvements into one total loan amount. Does that make sense, Kristen?
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Now let me ask a quick question.
Yeah.
I think may come up. If let's just say a person has, or an investor has, a property that they've had for a while already, and it's already, maybe they bought it in cash, are they able to do a separate just renovation loan, or does it have to be combined? Renovation.
So if you don't have a current loan on the property, you could simply do a renovation loan, and it be one loan just for renovation.
Okay.
Perfect. This is most of the time here we're talking about owner occupants here. We do have some other solutions for investors if they need some type of financing to fix up a property.
Awesome.
Okay. But we do also offer refinances for renovation as well. If somebody, if you had in your client base that you sold them a home years ago and they're like, hey, I can't find anything, but I really love where I'm at, but I'd like to put a second story on.
Awesome.
I would love to help them as well. It doesn't help you grow your business, but we're in this together, and we'll figure out how to grow your business with this product.
Okay.
So here's, one important thing about all these slides right here. There's 3 sets of pictures here, and two are, I'm sorry, one's a kitchen, one's a bathroom. The important thing here to mention is that renovation lending isn't just for properties that are completely, destroyed. They're very distressed and they're not livable right now. We can use renovation lending simply to update, stuff. So if you looked at this, while that kitchen on the top left, I think they're calling that retro these days, green cabinets. I love it. Those might be back in style. And you wanted to just modernize the kitchen. We can use this loan for that. And properties simply aren't selling because of that. Or the nice, I don't even know, what do you call that color, Kristen? Coral blue bath. That bath too.
It's like an ocean blue.
Ocean blue. I love the ocean. So yeah, I might like that bath. But we can modernize this bathroom.
Yep.
And then simply that top one to the bottom right, so top right to the bottom right, that simply had some old, let's say, old carpeting, right?
Yep.
And it has the classic golden oak trim. You could see that all they simply did was they trimmed out the windows and then brightened it up with nice white trim, which was everybody's looking for new trim now, which the oak trim, there's nothing wrong with oak trim out there, but everyone's throwing it away. Absolutely. And putting this, right? It's just what the current market dictates. And they did probably some oak flooring there, some wood flooring, right?
Yep.
So we can do all these right in our renovation program. So what I would tell you is, unless you sold somebody a brand new constructed home, they're going to walk into a home and they're going to say, Kristen, I love this house, but I don't like this about it. I don't like that. And that's where we provide them the education, the tools to know, don't worry about that. Let's get comfortable. If you want this home, let us make this your dream home.
Absolutely.
Okay. So we can use renovation just for updating. So I guess we'll talk about this. This slide says that types of repairs that are allowed. I hate to go through this because let's talk about the opposite. Types of repairs that are not allowed with renovate. That list is smaller. So we can do anything and everything you could dream of, right? And I just want to highlight a couple things. Additions are very popular now to add square footage. We can add a garage. We can do some properties just need a new roof, heating and air, landscaping, major landscaping. The couple things we can't do. We can do a swimming pool, but only in the conventional one. We can't do it with FHA. We can't do like the outdoor kitchen areas with this loan, but you can do a regular deck and stuff like that. And any type of finish you could think of internally inside a home, we can do. So okay. It doesn't limit you to just doing basic updates and upgrades. You can do whatever, quartz countertops, the most expensive tiling, glass tiling, whatever you can dream of, we can put it in this loan. Okay.
Okay. That's awesome.
So one of the things, I want to talk about this because this is going to be important when you're out talking to a client or even before they see a property, just kind of talking to them about the benefits of this loan. It's super important that they get pre-approved. And this is what I talk about. Our HomeBridge pre-approval is probably better than all pre-approvals out there because your client can make an offer on any property that's out there in the market, right? They can offer on a move-in ready home, an estate sale, a foreclosure, a completely boarded up property, any type of distressed property in any condition. They can make an offer with my pre-approval. So you and I can show these clients any and all properties. And so if they had a pre-approval from XYZ Bank. I don't want to name any competitors out there.
Right.
We'll keep it nice. That pre-approval, when let's say you found them a property and they had been pre-approved by Mr. Smith at XYZ Bank, and you go back to him and said, hey, John Smith, my clients found a great property. However, it needs a bunch of work. And he's like $75,000 of work. Well, sad thing is probably that lender is going to tell you, well, sorry, we can't help. Where we won't have that issue. So anything their hearts desire for properties, we will be able to use that same pre-approval. Does that make sense? What do you think about that?
I think that that's very good. I think that that is something that can be very beneficial for people on their search right now. So that helps.
Yeah, I agree, especially in the limited inventory environment. Here's one. I think this one was out east. I didn't personally do this one, but we do have some historic homes in the Chicagoland area, especially in the city, in the South. Like King Drive. I actually did a deal on King Drive. It's not completed yet, but I'd love to share those pictures when it's ready, because it is a historic home and it's a big home, and they picked it up at a nice price. They're putting a lot of money into it. And so we can use this loan to restore the beauty of some of these historic homes as well. So you can clearly see that that's the same home and it was finished up beautifully.
Awesome.
Okay. All right, so we won't talk a little bit of too much about the process here. Some of the work, if something is an extensive project, the client will need to get a HUD consultant involved who will go through the scope of the project, and that's super important for the appraisal. And I guess let's talk a little bit about the appraisal and how this loan is able to work. Okay. We are able to do this loan because at the end of the renovation, the home will be worth more than what they purchased it for. So we are doing what's called a subject to appraisal, or an after repaired value appraisal. So we are already taking into account into our loan all the renovations that are going to be done to the property. And so let's say somebody purchases a property for $250,000 and puts 100 into it, that's 350. More than likely in a project like that home is going to be worth 400,000. So they will have instant equity. And I guess while we're there, let's talk about that piece. The majority of the projects we do, we find that a client at the end of that project ends up with instant equity. I mean, how great is that for you to be the agent to show your clients that, hey, I can sell you any home, but what if I sell you something that at the end of the day, in 6 months or 9 months, you're going to have 60 or 50,000 to 75,000 in instant equity. I'm sure they love you already, but
of course,
would they love you more?
Yes.
Of course. And that's really what we're selling here. And we do believe in, with your expertise, the key here is you can guide your clients and tell them, hey, this is a good deal. This is a good deal, or this one's not so good of a deal. We need to buy it for less, because once you do those renovation, you're going to have a good idea of what that home's going to be worth. Correct? Instant
equity. Yep. I think
instant equity. That's what Kristen is selling today, guys.
Instant equity for sale. Okay.
So everybody sign up. This is what we're doing.
Right. Exactly. I think that's amazing. I like that piece of it.
Right. And so here's one little piece I want to talk to you about that you can share with your client base. The offers have been tough, right? Everybody's bidding over the purchase price. And if we're doing a renovation loan, the cool thing is this: we do not get an appraisal based on the subject property as it exists today. So does that make sense?
Yeah, so it's based on the ARV. It's based on
Correct.
the ARV.
So let's say that one more time. With I know that folks are going to be, this call is recorded. Folks are going to be listening to this again. So we don't care about what the property is worth right now. And if you're doing the right improvements, it doesn't matter if you overbid by 10,000 or 15,000 or 20,000. You're going to win that bid on that property, and then we're doing those renovations, and you're still going to have instant equity.
Yep.
Right. So that's that. This is a little advantage here that somebody can kind of take advantage of, and they don't have to come up with that extra money dollar for dollar. Since we're not seeing what the as is value is, we're just going to do the loan based on the future. So they could still put in their 3.5% of that total, the purchase plus renovation. So huge advantage here for a buyer. Okay.
Absolutely.
All right. So I think we mentioned this, and this one's kind of amazing when you look the curb appeal, right? If you drove up to the house on the left, you'd be, oh my gosh, I'll take a pass, and if you drove up to the one on the right, you say, wow, this is kind of a nice little retreat. I love the shrubs are beautifully done. It feels inviting and stuff. Well, it's the same exact house. They cleaned up. It looks like they did some window stuff. What was that?
No, I said it makes such a huge difference. The curb appeal is very important. I would want all the real estate clients to know that curb appeal is everything. When you walk up, that's the first thing that you see. So this is a prime example.
Perfect. You're right. And we can help your clients visualize that, hey, you can make this that. So, all right. So contractor requirements. I mean, we do, there are some requirements. We do require them to be licensed in whatever the municipality is. They do have to carry liability insurance. With this program, they do have to be a regular, legitimate general contractor, to make this work. And we want to make sure that not only is the client protected, but they're, our interest, as the lender and the properties, and that everybody has a good experience in this. And I would, that's why I asked you if you knew some contractors, because that like and trust that are capable of doing the work. So this is a great experience for the client. So I don't want to get too much into the contractor, but they are an important piece, obviously, to do the work for the property.
Yes.
So we talked a little bit, the HUD consultant, it is a third-party fee. These are fees that are set by Housing and Urban Development, standard fees that somebody can expect to pay for that specification of repairs report that we do need for the appraisal. But it's standard. It can be built into the loan to get reimbursed at the end because they'll have to prepay it up front. But to me, it's a small price to pay to know that your project is feasible. Okay.
Absolutely.
Here's one again in I guess I would call this obsolescence. The one up front, and I don't know what time period that was from. Maybe if that was late 80s or something, that kitchen style, or right at early 90. While that kitchen is probably fully 100% functional, I guarantee everything in there works. Yep. The bottom one is what everybody was looking for in today's kitchen. So you could simply take that top one and make that into the bottom one with this loan, not a problem, right? I always have to throw in a pink bathroom because I think when I grew up at my parents' old 2-unit, I think we had those pink tiles. I'm pretty sure they were great back then.
And Pete, they are still around. Believe it or not, they
were still around. Is right. And I'm not going to say how long ago it was because I'm not going to date myself here. But certainly, that's the same bathroom, and you can reconfigure it, rearrange it, whatever whatever you want to do, we can just tear apart the whole bathroom and make it be what the client wants and needs. And obviously this is all about getting the client a great deal on the home, right?
Yep.
And then getting them that instant equity at the end of the transaction. I can't stress that enough. I have so many clients that are so thankful for that they did this program and gained that instant equity and gained more room for their family or whatever their needs were. We're here to understand that and help them with that. The HUD consultant, again, we talked about that they'll do that one long report for us, so that we know what the scope of work is, so that we can do the appraisal piece properly. That's all. They'll also be the person that comes out physically to distribute the draws. They'll be the person comes and inspects and sees how much work is done and then submit draw paperwork, because obviously the contractor has to get paid as they do their work. Okay.
Absolutely. Okay. Broken down. How is it broken down, Pete? So just like at the start of the rehab?
Yeah, it's not, it's very specific to the project. So if it's a large project, let's say $100,000 plus, typically there'll be five separate draws.
Okay.
We can give them 10% of the materials up front, so we could send them $10,000 if it was $100,000, get them started on materials, and then they just call for the draws as needed. We don't have any timetable to say, well, you need to get X percentage through to get a draw. Okay. No, they can call. They feel they need a draw, they can call. I mean, we would like the work to move along as quickly as possible and give them the biggest draws possible. That's always the goal. But they can call if they did some rough carpentry and some electric, and they're like, hey, we want that paid out. They call for the draw and do that. And we could add draws as needed. There's some flexibility there.
Perfect.
So having said, this is one of my favorite, because this was a personal client of mine. They took a bunk. This is the same house. Wow. This is the same house. And gosh, when I show people this, because probably most 95% of that entire neighborhood are all the same bungalows type home. And, with the city lots and the restrictions, you can't really go out, right? There's not enough room to go, definitely not sideways, right? And probably not enough to go back. So the alternative is to rip off the roof and put a second story on. This one was an amazing job that the contractor did an amazing job and got the project done inside of 6 months.
Wow. This is an amazing.
Yeah. And we can do this for a client. I promise you that the house will appraise out, if they do all that work. But again, if somebody sees a property in a neighborhood they want to purchase, but the first one on the left here probably doesn't have enough square footage for their family. Well, no worries. We can rip the roof off and make it be what you want. So this is the power of this program, and have some instant equity, because there's no new construction in that area right there, right? Right. But this looks like, they actually redid the entire house. They redid the first floor. So this is about as much as good as new construction as you're going to find in existing. Okay.
Really nice job.
Yeah, I love this project, and it turned out fantastic. Again, so here's another favorite of mine that it looks like somebody on the left had a WWF wrestling match, and just threw somebody, threw some people around and
frustrated with cooking, I guess.
Somebody made a bad meal, and this is what happened. Yeah. and at the end of the day, the one on the right is kind of that cool urban chic type kitchen. I love the look of it. It's kind of different, and that's the same space, Yeah. And we can, they whatever they dream, it can be put into the loan. But I would say somebody walked into the picture on the left, they would want to walk out the door right away when they saw that. But it's all perception versus reality, and what equity can they get out of it, and say, don't worry about what it looks like right now. Let's worry about what it's going to look like when you're done. Okay.
Yeah.
So I don't really want to go over the process again. I think we talked through that. We talked through that a whole bunch. So I think we mentioned a little while back in some of the slides that you can do some exterior stuff. Like I said, we couldn't do a pool, but we can certainly refresh like a deck. You can see that the one on the left, while probably functional, you can walk out onto that, and if they power washed it and painted it, but it has that closed off lattice on the sides. But this is pretty much the same deck. Maybe they replaced the railings here, maybe they replaced the floorboards here, cleaned it up, painted it, put some, cleaned up the brick pavers, did some landscaping, and refreshed it. That's what it looks like now. So
yeah,
we can do that too. Most people coming into a house, especially first time, let's say a first time home buyer, they're going to look to spend money on fixing up the home. They're going to go to Home Depot, Lowe's, Menards, and they're going to purchase things like maybe carpeting, maybe do some siding, maybe refinish the basement. There's all sorts of stuff they're going to do. And instead of trying to do that as they go along, this is an easy solution to have the home come together all at once right within your purchase. Would you agree?
Yep, I would agree. I definitely would agree. I think, and it's also just part of my job is to create the vision for some people. So like these pictures that you can see, this is helping people see that if you're looking at a bad kitchen, that's not the end of the tunnel. There's light at the end of the tunnel, and we can really help provide that dream and make it, your dream kitchen. And so just, having the vision, I think, is something that I have to make sure that I'm helping people create. And with loans like this, different programs like this, it's absolutely obtainable to do it. So, yeah, I think this program, I'm really excited about this program, Pete. I think this is amazing.
Same here. I do these these loans often. So, I've been doing it a long time, and I sort of specialize in this type of lending, and I personally love it. And I promise the client will love it as well. But it starts with you, Kristen. Why don't you, I see it's on the screen here, but why don't you, give everyone your cell phone number here?
Yes, absolutely. So my name obviously is Kristen Rusev. Email address is listed at the bottom. So Kristen, Kristen, .realestategreams@gmail.com. And then my cell is actually 773-558-2004.
Well, that's good that you're saying. So everyone take note of that. It's 558, not 778.
That's okay. We are here, and I'm here to help. I'm really here to help. And don't get discouraged with inventory being low. There still are quite a bit of deals that we can, find, but having these different programs in mind and getting qualified for them can help you be competitive with everyone else that is here trying to put in offers. And so don't get discouraged. We're still here to help. I'm here to help make your dreams come a reality. And I'm excited to work with everyone. Just make sure that you call me, 773-558-2004. And I will connect you with the lender to see what options you may have.
Perfect. And so this call is recorded here, so everyone can grab it and watch it in their own time. So we'll get that out to you, Kristen, so you can share this valuable information. I hope I'm so glad we did this. It's like I said, my favorite of all lending products. They're not lending is not all that exciting. Let me tell you, I don't live an exciting life lending. But this one actually is. It's really different. I love to see the progression of how we truly help people with this. So, any final words of wisdom, Kristen?
I would just say, don't prolong your real estate dreams. Just go ahead and take action. The first step would be obviously getting you connected with myself, and then getting you connected with Pete so that we can bring your deal home. So just if there's any questions, any concerns, anything that you may need to be educated on, do not hesitate to reach out. We're here to help as much as we can, and I look forward to working with my past clients and future clients.
Perfect. Great. All right. We'll talk to you soon, Kristen. Thank you. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. I hope you have a great day.
You too. Thanks. Bye-bye.
Okay, thanks. Bye.